Okay, we're getting on that track. Are y'all, you feel okay getting on the track?
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
At any time, if you get scared or just want me to get off, you let me know and we will get off.
I love speed.
Good deal then. We're going to get on it then. We're coming up on the start and finish line. We're a 1.5 mile quad oval, 24-degree banking, 5 degrees on the straightaway. Like I tell people, the faster I go, the better. The slower you go, it makes you feel like you're falling.
Yeah.
Okay, that's at about 55. We're going to ease up here. We'll go slow the first lap. That's at about 60. Just make sure nobody's out here. That's at about 65. We'll dip down here in the middle groove. They run 3 wide in the corners here. About 187 to 193. 200 miles an hour down the backstretch. Takes about 30 seconds for the driver to do a lap here. That's straight up 70 miles an hour. That block building to your right was a hamburger stand when I was growing up. Get you a hamburger and a Coke for 50 cents. Pick up a little speed here. Yeah, the wind's whipping. The building in front of you, now that's our condominium building. We have 46 beautiful condos up there. And I think we still have 3 couples that live there year-round. They built those in the early 90s. I think they started out at about $85,000. Now they're about $350,000 up to $1.2 million.
Wow.
On the hill here to the right, those are also camping slots for the fans. There's 25 slots there, and I think those are about 2,500 maybe for the race weekend. Maybe a little bit less, hopefully. We are still the fastest track on the circuit. No restrictor plate on our engines here, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't like restrictor plate racing. It's not racing.
Back in the day, before restrictor plates, it was a lot different. Of course, racing was different back then. The grandstands in front of you, this is called the East Turn, or the Bill Elliott grandstands. Those are the cheapest seats in the house. They're about $40 a ticket. They sell out really quick. The problem is you can't see pit road. But I always tell people if they're just starting out in NASCAR and they're not sure if they want to really spend a lot of money, we'll try our East Turn to start with and see how that goes for them. We have about 124,000 hard seats here. Let's do another lap. Is that okay with you guys?
Sure.
Okay, wonderful. 124,000 hard seats, but we can hold 200,000 people when it's all said and done.
Wow.
Exactly. You see the safer barrier wall coming out, which was implemented after Dale Sr. was killed in 2001 in Daytona, which I think was a wonderful safety.
Oh, it was?
It's just great. I wish someone had invented that years ago.
Yeah, there would have been so many more drivers that would have had either lived longer or had longer careers.
That's right. I think about Neil Bonnet and
Ernie
Irvin, even Adam Petty.
Adam Petty, yes.
Yeah, I think that would have saved some lives.
Yeah.
But now we got it, and that's wonderful. Our owner, Bruton Smith, he also owns Charlotte, Bristol, Texas, Las Vegas, Infineon, New Hampshire, and Kentucky tracks.
Wow.
Kentucky's his latest one that he bought about 4 years ago. And I believe he owns about 190 car dealerships and about 75 collision centers. Stop right here. Oh, helicopter. A news helicopter, or our owner was on property yesterday. The state of Georgia, something about some kind of new bill that they've signed for tourism or something. So Bruton was on property yesterday. Now, straight up above the main grandstands, if you look up on that bottom level where the tent's off the windows, that's our owner, Bruton Smith's suite. When he's on property, that's where he watches the race from, right there.
He doesn't like the tinted windows.
No, because it's a night race.
Oh.
So, yeah. We're only having Nationwide and Sprint Cup this year, no Truck Series this year. Right above his suite is Race Control, where that tent's off that long suite up there. Mike Helton, Robert Pendleton, all those sit up there. There's 151 suites total, and they've now combined a couple of suites on the main stretch and on the east turn. They're calling them fan suites, where you can buy a ticket for $150 and bring your own food and drinks and sit in a climate-controlled room, which some fans really enjoy. Now, going into turns 1 above the blue and red seats up there, that is called Club 1. That's one long suite up there. It's a beautiful suite. It's got like 88 flat screen TVs, beautiful furniture. Your food and drinks will be provided with a ticket. I'm not sure, but I think it's about $700 for the Sunday ticket in there. But food and drinks are provided and everything. Where the lights are all around the stands and the suite areas is where the spotters stand. Each driver has one spotter, sometimes two. Oh, and this is our quarter-mile track the little legend cars run on. Let's do us a little lap on it real quick right here.
Quarter mile.
Yes, a quarter mile.
That's the size of the dirt track just outside of Winnipeg.
There you go then.
Yeah, they shortened it. No, it's 3/8, just a little bit bigger.
That is, these are some small little...
Yeah, well, it used to be a 5/8 oval, dirt oval, but all the tracks just south of us in North Dakota and Minnesota were all quarter mile or 3/8. So just to run the one track, a lot of drivers had to buy different sets of gears or different transmissions.
That's right.
So after several years, the original owner that built it, he wanted it to stay 5/8, and then when he sold it, it didn't take them long at all, and they switched it down, cut it down to make it easier. And as soon as they did, they started drawing a lot more American cars, which made better fields.
Wonderful. We have 2 scoring towers now, one on each end of pit road. We had one that had been here my whole life, but the tornado took it away. We'll go over here to Victory Lane, which is, it looks so much bigger on TV to me every time I see it. It amazes me that this Victory Lane, and I'm sure at all the tracks are really small. I just hadn't been to any of the other tracks in a lot of years. But this is Victory Lane. It's amazing they get the crew and reporters and everybody. I know, right? Look how tiny this is. And they sit in the car till the commercial breaks over, and that's when they get out and give me the check.
Gives them a chance to catch their breath a little bit, too.
Exactly. They do about 325 laps here for the 500 miles. It takes about 3.5 hours, depending on caution, red flags, but usually about 3.5 hours are good to go. Let's see. I'm not sure if that's blocked off up there or not, if we can get through. Let's go this way right here and see if we can ease through here. Before we lost our race, when I first started, which was 7 years ago, 280 days a year there was something leased out on this track. Whether it was a driving school, somebody getting married, gun show, camping show. I mean, we brought in more revenue to the state of Georgia than all the other sports combined. It's a beautiful facility.
It is.
It is a beautiful facility.
Yeah. I've argued with my family for years because they're football fans. Canadian football is not as big as the American.
Gotcha.
But I've always argued saying racing, there's more money in racing. And they do more for charity. And how many of the drivers have charities that, and they never talk about it, they don't want recognized for it.
That's right.
They just do it because they feel it's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do. They want to give back. Yep. They came from nothing, and they remember what that's like. Exactly.
You know, when they first opened the Victory Junction Gang Camp.
Yes. That's right.
I think it was Tony Stewart gave $1 million. There was 2 or 3 other drivers that each gave $1 million to start it.
Just to start it.
But it was, when they gave it, it was on the understanding that nobody would be told. They didn't want notoriety for it.
Good for them. That's the way it ought to be.
I think it took about 2 or 3 years, and then it was let out that they had. But
that's right.
But none of them wanted to be known as, oh, look, we gave this. I gave money. They did it for themselves, and that's the way it ought to be. Racing is like that.
Mm-hmm. Now this will be full of campers on both sides of the road. There'll be just enough room to get one vehicle through here. And to the left, this metal building, this is our in-care center. That's where the drivers come after a race. And there'll be a helicopter on standby also for the drivers. All the grass you see will be full of campers. Our infield sells out with campers every year. That's always a big time. I used to do that back in my younger years. That's a good shot of the 24-degree banking. This is a good shot. He's down in here so you can get a good shot of that. That is a great shot of the 24-degree banking. But at this track, if your car will stick, if it'll hold up next to that wall, that's where you want to be running. Just ride a rail all the way around it. That way you can keep your foot on the accelerator and just drag the brake with your left foot like people do in real life. Or like me and my dad drive. My dad's a huge NASCAR fan. He was at the first Daytona 500 on the beach.
Oh, yeah.
And
wow.
He was born and raised in Fayette County, not far from here, and that's where they made a lot of moonshine back in the day. So he was known to haul a little moonshine back then. He should have been a race car driver. The building across the street, that is our operations department. There's about a dozen guys that work there that maintain the 1,200 acres, our suites, grandstands. They do it all over there. They started getting overtime a couple of months before the race to get it up and running. To the left, this is Terra Field, the airport. That's where the drivers fly in for the race. To the right, that is a privately owned cemetery, but we maintain it for the family. There used to be a Methodist church across the street right here when this was a little dirt road. A gentleman I work with, his parents and grandparents are buried in there. He used to plow this land when he was growing up.
They've got the best view.
They're now extending the runways over here at Terra Field. The Learjets are getting a little bit longer now. So they're having to extend those out. All to the left, this is all fan parking over here. We have a lot of parking.
And you don't charge for it?
No, sir, which I think is wonderful for the fans. That way they can spend the money on the stuff they really want to buy.
Yeah. Well, in the stands themselves, what are the most expensive seats?
That's a good question. I should really know that, but I'm not sure, sir, because Ticket Office handles that. I know the red and blue seats going into turns 1 and 2, I think they start out maybe $300, I want to say. They film movies here. They filmed the sequel to, what's that called? The Hunger Games?
Oh, yeah.
Right. They did in this parking lot. They did a couple of scenes here. They brought in some green screens, shipping containers, horses with a chariot, if that makes sense. I know nothing of that movie. I like the Twilight movies.
I didn't see those ones. I haven't seen Hunger Games either, but I've read the books. So.
Oh, now a lady was in here yesterday. She read the book, and she said the book was not near as good as the movie.
Was that right?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll have to check that out.
So I thought, mental note on that one. But I do want to see the Hunger Games now since they filmed, a little bit of it here. This used to be fan parking. Now it's souvenir and vendor trailers. they'll have them all through here. This bathhouse to the left, I didn't watch the movie, but it was called Zombieland. I heard that it was with Woody Harrelson, and the zombies were coming out of that bathhouse right there.
Oh.
And the bathhouse that's near us, around where the lake is. That one also. They film quite a few movies here. Something about Georgia has a good tax break for studios or something. I'm not really sure. They stage a lot of equipment here when they're filming. They film a series called The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
In Sonora, and it's about 20 miles from here. So they stage equipment around the area also here. To the left, under those trees, that is our reserve camping. We have a lot of campers that come back year after year, and they get the same spot. These cars catch a bus to Atlanta called Park and Ride.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought was an excellent idea.
That is an awesome.
Because driving in Atlanta now, you better have your insurance paid up. That's for sure.
We drove through it last evening.
Oh, how was it?
We were 30 miles an hour over the speed limit, and people were still passing us.
Like you're sitting still.
30 miles an hour over. We were doing 85
There you go.
miles an hour, and people were passing us.
That's amazing, ain't it?
I don't understand that.
No, I don't either. And why ain't the police pulling them over?
And they're sitting,
They're
they're
sitting
sitting
there
there
watching.
with radar watching them.
I understand, same thing here. Tennis court, weight room, and pool area for the condo residents. We also rent that out for parties. In the bottom of our condo building, we have our corporate offices. We have a beautiful ballroom on the other end. The third condo down from the top is Teresa Earnhart's, Dale Jr.'s stepmother.
Mm-hmm.
She still owns one there. I don't think she's been here in a lot of years, though, but she has condominiums just about at every track still. She has those, yeah.
Yeah.
I hear through the grapevine that she may be putting that shop up for sale. I don't know how true that is, but I have heard that.
Well, I think it's unfortunate that Junior left there.
Yeah,
I think it was for the better.
Yeah, for him, because
Yeah.
she would never...
Well, it's unfortunate that his dad didn't have it in writing that racing team was his for his sons.
I said the same thing.
And
A
well, I guess
multi-millionaire like him, and he didn't.
well, I guess he figured he was immortal.
Yeah, right. And he probably did. Oh, wow. I came for the memorial up here.
Mm-hmm.
I was no fan of Dale's. I respected him as far as every time he got in that car,
Yes.
he meant to win.
Yep.
And the drafting, he could draft like nobody.
Mm-hmm.
I admired that about him. I didn't go for the bump and run.
No, I was.
Race me clean.
Yeah, I was not a fan of his, but he could do things with a race car.
That's right.
It's much like Kyle Busch.
Oh, just like him.
Kyle can do anything with a race car.
The talent is enormous in
Yeah.
that young man.
But
You could get that
his
attitude.
attitude is
Wow.
settling down because when he got married, it settled him down, and he's been working hard at it.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can really, he's having to completely change the way he grew up and everything he's done in life till now but the payoff is going to be immense.
Oh, yes. He bought the largest home in North Carolina recently. Like $7.8 million. I think it's on called Lake Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Huge estate he bought. And I thought, what do you need something that big for?
Mm-hmm.
What do any of them need something that big for?
Yeah.
It's just the two of you. You can't
Yeah.
use but so. You're only going to sleep in one bed and use one bathroom.
Yeah.
One kitchen. What do you need all that for? But that's the way racing has changed over the years.
Yep.
It was about money.
Yeah.
Racing now is, money.
Well, and it was just recently that Richard Petty had to move his race operations.
That's right.
With them, when the team got bigger, they just added on to the old garage.
That's right.
And the old garage is still there.
That's right.
And it was, the house that he grew up in is there.
That's right.
And then they just kept building and building and building. And
Yes.
I read that when, to them, race cars were disposable. When they were wrecked, they got rid of them by plowing them under in the backyard.
Probably so.
And now, if you had those cars now, guys would restore those. They would pay a lot of money to get them just to restore them.
Can you imagine what they would be worth today? Can you
Oh,
imagine?
unbelievable.
You know,
Now, did y'all get a picture of Petty Gardens?
we did.
Okay, he retired from our track in '92. First race for Jeff Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
And Richard crashed, unfortunately.
I know, I saw it.
Richard, he did about 25,000 laps on this track alone.